How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I got quite the story I want to share with you guys. I know bad workplace environments aren't exactly unheard of, especially in this day and age. But I just recently left a job that was the most unhealthy and insane place I've ever worked for. And it was a minimum wage job at Jersey Mike's of all places. I feel like when most people hear that somebody has like a rough job, they think of something like construction or one of those blue collar jobs that require a lot of work and effort. But no, apparently Jersey Mike's takes the cake for that. Granted, I'm willing to acknowledge that could have been just my store. But I gotta tell you guys this story because I don't think you guys will believe this. So first things first, everything starts at the interview. When I first was interviewed for the job, I was told that I would get a 50-cent raise for every single thing I'll get certified in, which was multiple things. Certified in sprinkling, slicing, wrapping the subs, working the cash register, working the grill, opening, closing, everything 50-cent raise before tips. Right after I was hired, I found out that wasn't true. You get a 50-cent raise once you were certified in everything, and a $1 raise when you were certified in opening and closing. And that's it. Still get tips. And come to find out that the manager lied in order to get me to actually agree to work there because they've had so many people quit. And already off the bat from day one for the next couple months, I had the manager and his wife who worked with him against the company's wishes, which I don't really know how that works. District said they didn't want her working there because there was a conflict of interest. I don't know why they didn't just fire her. But in any case, my first handful of months there, I was being sexually harassed by the manager and his wife, which he did with everybody. But for the bit, which he did with everybody, but the biggest example I can think of, I was out back doing dishes with an earbud in, just trying to relax, get the job done. I just wanted to go home. It was me and like two other people, very short staff. And this guy, after getting drunk drinking out back, comes up to me and just randomly says to me and like looks into my soul and just says, "I want to eat your asshole." And then he stops and goes, "Nobody's going to believe you, by the way," and walked away. That's the problem. Everybody believed me. And you know why? Because they do this with everybody. One of my other coworkers, who just so happened to be a childhood friend of mine, had a vape in his pocket. The store manager's wife wanted that vape. Instead of asking for it like a normal person, what does she do? She sticks her hands in his pockets, grabs his junk, and then goes, "Huh? That's not the vape," and proceeds to actually take his vape out of the pocket. And stuff like this would happen every day. Sexual comments, sexual touches against people's wishes, told them to stop multiple times, and they would keep touching and making comments. So that's already not good. Come to find out, one of my other coworkers, who apparently had a habit of sleeping around with everybody, was also a pedophile and was caught making out with an underage person in the back room, and she was not fired. She continued working there. So apparently Jersey Mike's is okay with pedophiles. So keep that in mind if you plan on working there and you're not 18, or if you want your son/daughter to apply there, they are a-okay with that. But to get to the bigger points of what led to my decision to leave and why I'm making this video, besides the sexual harassment and sexual nature of how the store manager and his wife treats their employees, they are also unnecessarily aggressive, mean, and just straight up douchey. One of my best friends, who I made from working at Jersey Mike's because she was my coworker, is a lesbian. Amazing person, super shy, and has trouble sticking up for herself. The store manager, who I'm just gonna honestly call Paige instead of repeating the name over and over again, decided to call her a bitch fucker because that's an appropriate thing to call a lesbian that works in your restaurant, is to call them a bitch fucker. And he was like writing that down on her gloves and constantly made comments about her sexuality. But come to what happened this week. A couple days ago, it was lunch rush, or like directly after lunch rush. I honestly don't care to remember specifically right now. And I was looking for I was looking for a bag with a name on it, couldn't find it because there were like 50 million other bags. And eventually I find that bag that I was looking for, which was directly in front of me the whole time, because my ability to see what is right in front of my own two eyes apparently is not that good, even with glasses. So then he points it out to me, and I'm just making a comment going, oh my God. Like, I'm so tired. Like, I slept for 11 hours last night, because since apparently this is not common knowledge, even though I thought it was, when you oversleep, you end up more fatigued. You end up more tired because you are not meant to sleep for extended periods of time. So yes, even though I slept 11 hours, I was still really fucking tired. So that's all I said. Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't see that. I'm so tired. I slept 11 hours. And out of nowhere, this dude starts screaming, "Fuck you, poor you. You got 11 hours of sleep and you're fucking tired. You know what? There's no customers here to hear this. Fuck you. I slept 4 hours and I'm wide fucking awake. What the fuck?" And he just started going off on me. And I mean full on screaming, face bright red, losing his absolute marbles because I said I was tired. Which again, we're not meant to sleep for 11 hours. So yes, I was pretty tired and fatigued. And all that happened right in front of the new hire. So he went out back to calm down and get the red out of his face. I eventually went outside to calm myself down because I'll admit, I didn't really do good with people yelling and swearing at me like that, especially over stuff like me saying I'm tired. So I pushed through the rest of the day. I almost quit that day, decided not to, but I pushed through. And the next day I messaged the only other person I could to ask for the district manager's number that was not him, which unfortunately was his wife. And I know, looking back, may not have been the best idea. But it was either that or ask him directly, and I was not really willing to do that. And, as you may have guessed, no response, and she told him. The next day, I'm out back in an area out of view of the cameras, by the way, in a corner, just relaxing for a second while it's quiet. He rounds the corner and just goes, "You know, I know you don't respect me, and I guess that kind of sucks, but like, you should stop telling everyone that you don't respect me." Which, I hate to break it to you, Paige, nobody there respects you. Everybody talks about how uncomfortable you make them and how horrible the work environment is because of how you act. I wasn't going around telling everybody I don't respect you. I was saying how the district manager said that he can tell I don't respect you, but I myself was not flat out saying I don't respect you because I honestly do not care enough. And once that part of the conversation's through, I let him say his thing about how he knows I don't respect him and his woes. He starts trying to interrogate me on why I asked for the district manager's number, which I'm pretty sure you are not allowed to do. I'm pretty sure there might even be a legal thing with that. I'm like 99% sure that if you ask for HR or district's phone number, you can't interrogate your associates to figure out why that is. So I'm gonna have to double check that. If anyone's listening that has any legal knowledge, feel free to let me know. But so as he's trying to interrogate me on that, I'm trying to get away the best I can because again, I'm out of view of the camera in the corner with a mentally unstable man who gets drunk on the job all the time. Granted, I don't know if he was drunk at this point because he almost died in a manager meeting from alcohol poisoning. But who knows? He would drive around drunk with his kid in the car. So I have no clue. But as I'm trying to escape the very awkward situation that I'm in, he's again repeating, "Why won't you tell me? Why won't you tell me? What's up? What's up? Why can't you tell me what's wrong?" Trying to make it as uncomfortable as possible. So again, same thing as the previous day. That happens. I power through my shift. Now even more uncomfortable than I already was. And already kind of at my breaking point with this place. So then cut to yesterday, or at least the day before this is recording to everyone else. I'm doing the dishes. I'm waiting for the sanitizer to empty because it has to be hot in order for us to use it, and it was cold. So I was waiting for it to empty and I was refilling it. Me and everyone else there, when we were doing this, we just sit and wait. So while waiting, I just decided, you know what? I'll check my phone real quick. I'm waiting for an important message that is nobody's business but mine. And as soon as I take my phone out to check, his wife rounds the corner, who I have to mention was already stressed because it was her and one other person closing because we had a call out because somebody was sick. And another tidbit of lore for this place, even if we are sick and throwing up out back, the store manager will want us to stay and make people's food because he doesn't care about anyone's health or anything. He doesn't want to be short-staffed, so screw the customer's health. And I can only imagine how many people got sick because of that. But she was already in a bad mood. She rounded the corner, sees me as soon as I took my phone out, just waiting, doing my job just to check real quick, and goes, "Hey, get off your fucking phone. I'm sick of seeing you on your goddamn phone." Which she had just come in at that point. I haven't really used my phone much. The only reason I was even repeatedly checking my phone, and I say repeatedly loosely, I know I just said I wasn't using it much, but the only reason I was even checking it was because of said important message that I really couldn't afford to miss. And I look at her and I'm like, well, hey, I'm just waiting for the sink to refill so I can continue doing the dishes. She says she doesn't give a fuck, do my job, quit being late. So obviously at this point, after I already had her husband cussing me out for saying I was tired, I got a little aggravated and I was like, listen, there's no reason to talk to me like this. I get it. You're stressed because it's you and one other person closing. You do not need to take that out on me. I'm just waiting for the sink to refill. I'm doing my job. I'm doing the dishes. There's no reason to talk to me like this. And she just basically said that she's going to talk to me however the fuck she wants and walked away. And this is all in front of my other coworker. But so I'm sitting there trying to hold it together because I'm just trying to do my job. I'm trying to do the dishes. I'm trying to get the dishes done. I'm trying to just, you know, shoot my shit and go home. And I'm being cussed out for that. So then I step outside again to calm down. And I come back in and I finish the dishes. They are done. And I go up front to continue doing my job and make people's food because we had customers up front. And she immediately whips around and says, go back and finish the dishes. I explained that the dishes were already done. There's not any more to do. Her response is, then go find something else to do out back. Obviously, at that point, I'm a little confused, so I just say, okay. Because there wasn't even really anything else to do out back. And like I have to preface too, I have autism, guys. I don't do good with vague instructions. Like, you need to actually tell me what you want me to do. So knowing that there wasn't anything to do back and very clearly being pushed out back because she didn't want to be around me for whatever reason, I was just confused and said, okay. And as I'm going to walk out back, she walks by me and says, if that's a fucking issue, you can leave. What did I do at this point? I just said, okay. I was like, okay, I can tell you do not want me here. So you said you told me to leave, I'm gonna leave. And then she immediately turns around, face bright red, don't fucking come back. Keep in mind, all that was happening because I just very quickly checked my phone while waiting for the sink to refill so I can properly sanitize and clean dishes so that customers do not get sick. So then I'll admit it, I lost my cool. And again, this was all in front of customers. And I apologize for those customers. I highly doubt any of them are gonna see this. But in case you do, I'm sorry. But I lost it. I started yelling too, and I pointed out how her and her husband treat their employees like garbage. They don't have a right to treat people however they want just because they got their own stuff they're dealing with. You can't sit there and cuss out your associates for saying they're tired. You can't cuss out your associates as soon as they quote unquote do something wrong. That is not how you be a good manager. That's not how you lead by example. That's not how you run a store. And the entire time she's not listening, she's just get the fuck out, don't fucking come back, don't fucking come back, don't come back, don't come back, don't come back. I think I heard it after the second time, let alone the 50th. And the entire time, I'm going off, you can't treat your employees like this. So then I leave, I hit my breaking point, I got in my car, I go home. Keep in mind, she told me to leave. She said, if that's a problem, leave, don't come back. She told me to leave and don't come back. The store manager, her husband, messages me saying, just so you know, you weren't fired, you quit, so you're not going to get unemployment. Again, I was told leave, don't come back. As far as I'm concerned, that sounds very much like being fired. But the issue with this specific store manager page is that he lies a lot. He lied about his fucking cat dying because he cried from stress at work and he quote unquote didn't want to seem like a pussy. So he lied about his cat dying and made everyone at work feel bad for him just because he couldn't be an adult and just say that he was stressed. So as far as I'm concerned, he's trying to put it in text that I quote unquote quit instead of being fired and that I won't get unemployment, especially because he clarified you won't get unemployment. I'm 99% sure he's just trying to set things up in a way to make it difficult for me because I was fired. I did not quit. I was told to leave. I was told not to come back. That is being fired, Paige. You absolute buffoon. And like I said, especially clarifying the you won't get unemployment. He's been known that if he even remotely gets aggravated at anyone, he cuts their hours, which is illegal, by the way. That's retaliation. And there is witnesses with that. So I would love to see something done about that. But very clearly, he's clarifying you won't get unemployment because he's sour that I called him and his wife out. So he's trying to make things difficult. So I send a response clarifying that this has been the most unprofessional place I have ever worked, period, and that they can't treat their employees however the fuck they want. His response is to start going on my YouTube posts and commenting. Now, it took me ages to figure out what the fuck this comment meant because he doesn't speak like a normal human being. There was a day that we were told that we could have our one earbud in, and he randomly messaged everybody just saying remove, and everybody was confused as hell as to what that meant. But it took me forever to figure out what this comment meant. This hate from the grave salute, which that's interesting wording. But he's saying that he's sending hate my way, and from the grave is because I blocked him. So he's so petty and so much of a small peened loser that he's leaving comments on my videos now saying sending hate your way, pretty much, because he's that sour that he got called out for being a shit human being. Where's the professionalism? But this is somebody who repeatedly was getting drunk on the job, touching his employees, making sexual comments. He tried kissing one of the employees, constantly drinking on the job, passing alcohol out to his associates, some of them under 21, by the way. Hey guys, adding on to this a couple of days later. Tried reaching out to the district manager through the phone number that I was given. Got no response, and I just now got confirmation the reason why I got no response is because the district manager flat out said that he does not give a shit. He does not care about any of this, so apparently if you're a manager at Jersey Mike's, you can just treat your employees however the fuck you want. Jersey Mike's does not care about their employees or anything. So, good to know. And just figured I'd add that, and just like, I can't wrap my head around how absolutely insane working here has been. It has caused me so much mental and emotional distress. I honestly can't wait to talk to my therapist about this. Like, there's so much more I could add, but this video is already long enough, and I'm just ranting, complaining. But the last thing I'm gonna say is he would drop food on the floor and just rinse it off and use it for your sandwiches. Corporate themselves told us that is the code to do. He would drop, if we dropped a giant piece of ham on the floor, he would just rinse it off and just use it right for your food, which is fucking disgusting, but I don't know what to expect from an alcoholic who tries sleeping with his coworkers. And because I know there's a fat chance that you might see this page with a P, just know I'm definitely looking into legalities of everything, and you are a disgusting human being, and I hope one day you learn not to be such a piece of shit. But with that, that's gonna be all for this video. I just want to throw that into the ether. If anyone's thinking of working for Jersey Mike's, don't fucking do it. If you go to Jersey Mike's, just know how they treat their employees and know that half of your sub was probably on the floor at one point. Just don't. Avoid this company like the plague. But that's gonna be it. So